Hello and welcome back to another 10-minute investor eye test. This is Sasha with Arcanum Ventures. I'm here with my good friend and colleague Carmelo, and today we are diving into OneFootball, a one-stop shop platform for all football fans, a place where they can get news, highlights, live match scores, and a whole lot more apparently. How's it going, Melo? Do you know much about OneFootball?
No, I don't know anything about it, and I'm wondering what a whole lot more means in this scenario. What can you
I don't
possibly add to
know.
a score aggregator, a football news hub? So I'm interested to see why they're making a token, like usual.
Yeah, I don't know. I just threw that in there because I thought it sounded good. But I'm wondering what they have a token for as well. Like I think we covered this in our 3 token launches video earlier this week, and this is like a growing meta. I think I've seen football or soccer for our American friends is obviously a massive global phenomenon with built-in, highly engaged audiences around communities like these football teams, and so maybe it's a natural fit for Web3. I know there's been a number of projects that have focused on like Formula One or other sports to try and bring like crypto and Web3 to fan engagement. So I guess we'll dive in. But yeah, for those of our viewers that are unfamiliar with the concept, we're going to take 10 short minutes to dive into this project that's launching a token, understanding what the project is, what the company is, what the token does, and if it's something that we would invest into. And so make sure you stick around until the end where we give our verdicts. And yeah, Mello, any predictions for this one?
Whew. No, I don't think I could safely give any predictions based off what I know. Just that you're right about the football and crypto having this kind of weird, at least temporary alliance. Seeing a lot of sponsorships, and it makes sense. Like football is the most popular sport in the world, so it is a good onboarding vehicle to crypto if you want to talk about payments or tickets on chain or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see like what the use case is. I hope it's not just betting. That would be kind of degen.
That's a good actually. That's a good prediction, and probably the lowest hanging fruit here to build is a gambling engine built on blockchain. But I hope
Yeah,
it's not that.
I hope not. Let's dive in. 10 short minutes on OneFootball starting right. Meow. Boom. And we've got crypto rank up here with an ICO coming out for OneFootball, I believe, tomorrow. And they're raising $3 million. Mello, you see some pretty impressive logos here already, right?
Yeah, Dapper Labs, who's working with Disney, Flow Blockchain, and then Union Square. I don't know why Adidas is tier 3 and Dapper Labs is tier 2. That's a little bit weird. I would think Adidas is as tier 1 as it gets as an investor if they truly are investing. But yeah, a lot of aside from Animoca, these other investors I don't recognize so much. So maybe that's actually something we never talked about before. But if you're getting like less traditional crypto investors and more VCs and capital outside, like Adidas is not a Web3 investor, even though they've done some stuff in Web3. Animoca came from traditional background, but now they're considered Web3. But that's pretty interesting. So the money's coming from outside the space. And they raised
It's a really
$300 million so far, too. I don't know if you saw that.
in a Series D. That is wild, man. So how long has this company been around? And the ICO for 3 million on CoinList. That's a good point, right? Because if you see like a non-tech investor like Adidas, that could be considered a massive green flag.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what that valuation was at and what the subsequent or the previous rounds were at. And then it says something right there. I don't know if that's accurate, but it says airdrop is live for people that minted NFTs. So I guess they have more than one digital asset here.
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, if this is a company that's been around for a while, I'm assuming it has because they're on a Series D back in 2022. There should be some financial information about what they're doing and what they've done so far.
Yeah, yeah. They've just been biding their time for a few years waiting to launch.
Absolutely. So total raised according to CryptoRank. We don't know what the Series C is, but that apparently was led by Adidas, and then before that, Union Square. 7 million in a Series B, huge jump. But
Yeah.
they're launching the token, $3 million token sale on ICO, and an FDV of 50 million. So, like comparatively, that's very fair, right? They're not trying to like bloat the hell out of their token FDV.
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing a whole week ICO, so that's going to conclude in the end of the month, 31st of July. So that's when we'll know what this actually does, at least price wise. We're trying to figure out what the utility is right now.
It's pretty interesting here, though. It says, they're offering a number of different products at different price points to make them widely accessible, and fans will be able to purchase and store digital collectibles with just their email and a credit card. And that makes sense. I think it was NBA Hot Shots, was it? That
Yeah,
they,
also Flow and Dapper.
yeah, yeah. And so, like, they might be using the same playbook here, where they're engaging these football fans with digital collectibles for special moments, or their players, or maybe even collectibles around specific events. And that seems to have been very successful in the past with Dapper.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's check out the website. And so we've got. Um, okay, maybe this is just some sort of like error, but there's a banner here, I think, that doesn't need to be here. But this is the website for OneFootball, and it looks like just a sort of like news hub. Got top news here, articles. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm admittedly not the biggest football fan. Like, I watch a little bit, but I'm more into other sports, and I usually go to my news source like ESPN and stuff. So that's where I find information about like scores or the what's going on, trades, or Reddit. But I would be curious to see what the usership is for this. So with this, it's like a legacy traditional company. I would love to see what their web traffic is every month, and I'm sure that investors get access to that information. They're privy to that when they make these investments. So seeing how many football fans around the world are tuning in and actually using this as their go-to source for the single source for the truth,
Yeah, absolutely. There's no token at all about digital, or no token. There's no mention at all about tokens or digital assets, right? Not even like digital collectibles.
which is can be a good thing. I mean, they got all their social media. I think they have a pretty robust following on all their social media. About us should have some information, but it doesn't look like it does. The only thing I can see, oh yeah, I think you were right about betting in the bottom left corner. It says betting UK, betting
Yeah.
US, betting India, and then I
Wow.
see in the top next to TV, which means they might have some streaming element here as well. But they have competitions, which could be where that token slots into play, like you mentioned, aside from the
Yeah.
collectibles.
Real quick, let's dive into some unique fundamentals here. I see careers. And so I want to see, like, maybe the health of this company. I know we've heard and talked a lot about ghost roles and ghost positions, but I'm interested to see, like, who are they wanting to hire? Um
Oh,
you've
with
got
240 current employees too. That's also pretty crazy.
Interesting. And they've got like 7 open acquisitions all around tech and development. Okay, that's cool. And let's see. We got to go back to the website, and we're going to check out what maybe betting looks like. So maybe this is going to give us an idea of like the demand around this particular feature.
Yeah, it looks like they have a TV streaming app as well. So I wonder if they're making revenue from downloads of the app on the App Store.
Yeah, interesting. So they do have betting platforms tailored towards different countries. And let's check out this TV app. Oh, cool. So you can see live matches, and maybe this fits into some sort of like a subscription program where you can actually just pay to see a live match, which is very convenient if you don't want to like subscribe to ESPN Go or whatever.
I mean, if this is like earn tokens for certain things and then use those tokens to stream games, then I love that. I hope that's
Yeah.
what they're utilizing it for, aside from the collectibles and the betting.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
don't actually know if this ties in with the betting yet. We've seen betting, but no mention of what the token does or how it might potentially slot into a gambling system. Maybe it's not for that at all.
Yeah, nothing, right? We do have some of the socials open. Let's dive in and see what this looks like. It's a company that's been around for a while. Here's the X page. As you can see, they joined in 2016. They've got over 300,000 followers on Twitter/X. And so, yeah, you can see like the content's quite consistent across both the website and the social media.
Yeah.
I want to showcase the Facebook as well. This is wild, man. They've got 7.6 million followers on Facebook. Again, content consistency. They know who their audience is. They know what's going to get engagement with their fans. And then check it out, Instagram, 10 million followers. It's wild. This company is doing quite well when it comes to social engagement.
Yeah.
But
Also,
you know,
I think I found a page because there was no information on the actual website, but I am looking at the CoinList page for OneFootball where the ICO will be held,
mhm,
and there's a list of the utilities. I just dropped the link here, but it
we've
looks
got
like
it
it's going to
open.
be. Oh, you got it. Oh yeah, go,
Yeah,
so go scroll down to the bottom, and then there's a utilities section,
here we
which is
go.
pretty helpful. It should be on the website, but it's good that CoinList is at least featuring this.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for CoinList because they're driving all of the Web3 audience to their platform to get
Yep,
this information, right? But I see we've got cool football digital identity. So users can mint and maintain a blockchain-based identity using OFC, and this stores your fandom journey, including achievements, badges, etc. That's really cool.
a
They got
dot
payment
football,
vouchers.
the dot football digital identity, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
see
Oh
them
wow.
flexing. There's 3.5 billion football fans in the world. So, like we said, massive opportunity to onboard people into crypto the right way, not through Wall Street or traditional finance, but through the love and passion surrounding the biggest sport in the world.
Fantastic. And they're using their token as a payment medium on their platform, which makes sense, especially if you can earn the token through different
Yeah,
tasks or quests. This is perfect for an engaged audience because they've got exclusive drops and raffles here as well. And so people are going to be engaging with content, maybe providing information, and then earning tokens that they can then use for like live streams or something else.
yeah, and it says pay per view. It confirms you can pay for streaming and pay per view with the token as a payment medium, which is awesome. That's exactly the kind of sync we would like to see, and this is a nice time to implement a token into something that's already a well-oiled machine. You know, it's just meant to improve the experience, not to detract from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's really cool. It seems like it's specifically a fan token. At least it's enabling this fan economy, which is good because the entire user base is a fan base. Oh, and that's our 10 minutes wrapped up. I do want to cover this a little bit though, for maybe a few more seconds. Governance. This is wild. Like, what are they going to govern, man?
I mean, it says what they're going to govern here, but I was going to make a comment on that. That oftentimes we see governance reduced to two or even one sentence, and that's crazy because governance alone is a bigger utility than all of the other ones combined, technically. So, what they're actually going to be able to manage, like this says, there's going to have an ecosystem fund, which is interesting, tied to staking. So, I don't know if they mean like they're going to have staking for some other use case or just you have to stake to vote. That's how the system works. But to reduce the entire governance system down to two sentences is a little bit wild. And that's why we saw last cycle a lot of companies saying we're going to have governance, just don't worry about it, you'll see the value eventually, and then the value never came. In this case, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt for the governance. I think they've probably cooked something up nicely. uh, just on CoinList, they're keeping it pretty minimal as far as the information around on-chain creator tips, OneFootball heads IP and product. Like you can't really dive into in depth here, but that's what the KOLs or the community evangelists are here for. They're going to spread the gospel of this company on Twitter or whatever outlets.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, honestly. You made such a good point around governance, but for the sake of maybe compiling this information to let
Hmm.
ICO participants understand the utilities, like it might be appropriate as far as just a couple of sentences. But you're right; it does drop like a good amount of alpha and many more questions. So
Yeah.
let's dive into our verdicts. And before we do, I want to remind everyone watching: make sure you like this content. If you like what we're doing, if you like, our fun and interesting viewpoints and the wild types of projects that we cover, I think this is the first like this ever. Make sure you subscribe and stick around. We got plenty of more fun content coming out. And yeah, Melo, you want to start with your verdict on this one?
Yeah, I want to start off by saying last week we covered Pump Fun, which is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I didn't like anything about it. And I wanted to just mention that because, and this might take some people by surprise. But while I don't 100% love what I've seen today, this token is like kind of a gold standard in many ways of how I would like to see more companies launch. Like a real company making real revenue around for a long time, raising money from real companies. Like Adidas is on your cap table. That's wild. Launching with CoinList, which is probably one of the only trustworthy launch pads out there doing ICOs. You see, they're not really building around speculation, but they're only launching like the I don't know, only the best projects basically. It's pretty hard to list with CoinList, and that's good because you have to curate that value. You have to keep out the bad actors and the rug pulls, which are largely going to other launch pads. So, everything they've done here, they've built a sensible asset. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what happens with this token or that I would invest in it personally because I don't know enough about it. And I don't know if all the speculation and utility will drive it up in price. I'm not here to say that, but I've seen enough to say it's intriguing. And I think this is one of the safer bets you could possibly make as an investment based off everything we've seen in 10 short minutes. So I would give them the one big thumbs up. Like I said, I'm not a football fan, but this seems to be really thoroughly thought out. And this is, I wish you and I were able to work on more economies like this, where it's a real pre-existing company that brings in experts to design a digital asset thoughtfully, not just to raise funds and then panic later on because you didn't actually need a utility asset. So it seems like they've really thought this through, and I appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah, 100% agree with everything you've said. I think you covered it really well. What else can I add? Yeah, I think I'm not a big football fan, honestly, but just based on what you said and based on what we've seen, like the fundamentals are strong with this one. This is exactly how you would tie a Web3 product into a non-Web3 company. And looking at the numbers as an additional fundamental, like we sit on this show and we talk about like fundamentals, like who's the team and what do they want out of the token launch and the speculation that they're driving and all these different factors. And you look at the fact that they've raised, 300 million in a Series D. They've been around for a very long time. They've got a massive fan base that's showcased across social media, and they're launching a token that's worth 50 million FDV starting. And so like they're not looking at the token as a moneymaker, most likely. They're looking at the token for launching a fan asset that's going to engage a different or new audience and maybe work to engage their existing audience. And when people talk about Web3 adoption, this is what Web3 adoption looks like, guys. You have 10 million people on Instagram that are tuning into OneFootball content to learn about what's happening with football. And then you've got maybe like 3,000 people participating in a token sale. And this is how you get more people to understand like what cryptocurrency is, what digital assets are, how do I use these things, and how is it going to make my life a little bit more interesting. This is how you onboard people into crypto, not with pump.fun meme coins and all the crazy stuff that we saw last week. So for that, I love it. Would I invest in it? I don't know, but I agree. One thumb up. I would definitely consider learning more and also monitoring what happens with this token as it goes to market, because this, like you said, it's a gold standard with how non-Web3 companies should launch tokens. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Well, that's our 10 minutes in the books for OneFootball. Thanks everyone again for tuning in and checking it out. Again, make sure you tap that like button, throw us a subscribe or follow. We got more content coming out. And until then, best of luck to the OneFootball team. But I doubt you'll need it. Sounds like you're doing quite well. And until then, take care, y'all. Ciao.
Bye.